Will Jared Jones and the Pittsburgh Pirates push back this afternoon versus Arizona? Will Cam Schlittler continue legendary road dominance tonight on the south side of Chicago at the White Sox? Find out now on MLB Bases Loaded. Huge card on slate today.
15-game card. It's us versus the bookies. Bases loaded, high noon. It's going to be a showdown.
On a suddenly not so casual Friday, the buy hat is engaged. Two questions posed, answers to be found. It is Wednesday, July the 29th, 2026. MLB Bases Loaded. I'm the Shark. He is Mikey. Mike, what's going on this morning?
Looking forward to afternoon baseball here with Bases Loaded. Shout out to you guys. I see professors in the house. I see our guy 21 Youngblood. JG, let's go, you guys. Turn it up, man. It is time to get after it. The best crew assembled to break down baseball for you is here. We're going to do what we do. We had some good winners yesterday. We had some tough breaks. But, man, that Texas Rangers spot was good plus money. Who saw? I mean, the couple of Seattle Mariners go out there and apparently the Dodgers can't win by 2. I was a little surprised by that outcome as well. But just a strange day yesterday in baseball. It happens. We got 16 games again today. It's the 162, baby. We are in the thralls of it. But, we're down to single-digit days till the Hall of Fame game for baseball, Shark. So, look, man, that tells me we got to roll up our sleeves. It's time to get serious because, frankly, we're running out of time to make that baseball money before we turn the calendar to football season.
Yeah, when is that? August 8th or something like that?
I think so. I think I saw 8 days from yesterday or something like that.
Yeah, a little Ohio. We got a bunch of Ohio stuff going on in baseball today, too. I'm looking forward to that, but I'm looking forward to this card. If you guys are on the East Coast, it is just afternoon Eastern time. If you're at lunch, get in the chat and hang out with us. If you guys are on the West Coast, early morning, get your coffee and get ready to dominate. We got another 16 games on card today, guys. A lot of business to be discussed on a suddenly not so casual Wednesday, the final Wednesday of July 2026. Let's get down to business and let's go straight to the streets of Miami. First game on the card, first pitch in roughly 5 minutes. Philadelphia at Miami, Luzardo at Gusto. Game 3 of this series. Phillies having dropped the previous 2 games, both by 1 run. Marlins trying to clean up the sweep this afternoon, Mike. Can the Phillies push back?
I don't know about that here. Yesterday, kind of late news there was that they took Schwarber out of the lineup. There's some injury issues going on there. He's still maybe questionable and not confirmed for the lineup today that I saw earlier this morning. Let me just double check that be the case here. Yeah, he's still out of the lineup. And so issues be gone here. Bryce Harper's even saying, yeah, we need some help. And rumor was that they were scouting Skubal, trying to get some moves out there at the deadline. I mean, they're going to need to do something if they're going to make that push that we know they're going to win the World Series. So now they got to figure out a way to get there. I'm going to take a Bryson Stott RBI. It's plus 165. A couple things going on. I mean, look, they got shut out 1-0 yesterday. What a boring, I would have been pissed if I was at that game. They come off with a leadoff homer and then there's nothing else done the rest of the game. So I like a Bryson Stott RBI. He's a 232 in the Gusto business out there, home and road situation. I think he's going to figure out a way to go out there and crack a run through the finish line here. I'm not so sure about Philly coming back and getting the win. I don't want to fade Luzardo, though. I like the strikeout prop for Luzardo as well. So I'll go over 7.5 strikeouts. I'm sorry, over 6.5 strikeouts. And I'll take the Stott RBI in the spot here to kick the card off.
Yeah, I like the props in this game better than I like the actual handicap. Just a tough game in general. I think one of the problems here is Miami did lose 12 or 13 games leading into this series. And we always talk about this. When teams have elongated streaks, either wins or losses, when they go the other direction, they don't really pull back to the streak. So Miami can absolutely cluster northward here. In terms of the actual matchup, Luzardo is 2-0 against the Marlins this year. Of course, divisional baseball, a lot of data here. He likes to shove. I mean, he pitched for this team for a period of time. It's clearly revenge game every time he plays against this team. He is 1-0 in this stadium this year did catch a 7-2 win. Also a matinee, which I think helps for this handicap on a Sunday in May against Chris Paddock, who, of course, has moved on, no longer pitching for the Marlins. But key point in that, he was minus 143 on the road, minus 170 here. So do a little line functionality with me here. You win in this stadium, minus 140. Now you're favored heavier. So books actually expect a repeat. Now, I think Luzardo will pitch well. Gusto's a bit of a gas can here. Campaign one with the Marlins, pitched for the Astros last year. He did take a 7-0 loss. His only start against the Phillies this year, road start at the bank in mid-June. I would lean towards the Phillies. Don't love paying 1.7 to 1 at 12:10, 3 minutes from now, Mike. It's going to get grimy in the South Beach area here this afternoon. It's going to be one of those quick games. I think two hours and out. You guys are paying for tickets. Get your alcohol's worth, I swear, because this is going to be a fast one. It might be a boring game as well. I think the Phillies win. Mike, with a couple props, we will leave it at that. Mike, any final comments or keep you moving?
Yeah, I'm in no rush for these afternoon games. We talk about this all the time when it comes to capping our card. It's like, and I've said this, it goes back to the shows I've done at 5 and 6 o'clock. We get those afternoon games in there, those earlier start games. There are anomalies on the schedule. And one of the things that, Shark and I will talk about when we break these games down is, why is this game starting at this time? It's just weird outlier stuff. And not that a 12 p.m. Wednesday game is an outlier situation. It's just not in a rush. I want to have fun. I'm going to put some money on it. I gave my winnable subscribers the same game parlay and a couple of ways to attack the player prop game in this thing. It's just like, yeah, it's there. I'm going to have money on it. I want to stack this money up and let it fly, but you won't see me running with my ass on fire to make sure I get something in for some of these spots out there. I'll say this, Luzardo, he is 9-0 in his last 9 road starts, and they are winning by margin of 3 runs a game. So not a terrible spot, Shark, but kind of feel a little bit of the same factor with this next game. Talk to us.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. These early starts can be enigmatic, to use yet another great word on this show. Mike, we're just full of them. Yes,
word of the day?
Oscillating, enigmatic. We're just a dictionary.
Don't forget Confluence. We threw Confluence out there the other day. I mean, come on.
If you aren't cashing tickets or learning about baseball, at least you're improving your vocabulary with this show. Come on. Anyway, this is about to go off. 1 minute counting down to first pitch in Miami. I think Philadelphia will win the game. It's overpriced, but if you guys want to gamble, get the Phillies on your card, and let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, Mike, as you're saying, great stuff, I think, here at 12:35 in Pittsburgh, PNC Park, in the Three Rivers City. Going to be a beautiful afternoon in the Philly region, or excuse me, the Pittsburgh region this afternoon. Eddie Rodriguez at Jared Jones. Final game of the year between these teams. One series out in the desert. This is the final game. Jared Jones looking quite good, Mike. I think the Pirates might push back here. What do you think?
Yeah, I can get there with you on this one. Pull up the old cash flow and line split tools. Like, a lot of people are forecasting that the demise of Eduardo Rodriguez is impending here. I don't necessarily. I think it's bad juju to expect a player particularly to regress. And now I guess I'll probably talk both sides of my mouth with the game later on here. I don't like to put those vibes into the ether. So I get it, though. Spin rate and control are problematic for this guy. And on the flip side of things here with Jared Jones, yeah, he looks pretty strong. The problem I have is bullpen advantage Arizona. The lefty-righty matchups advantage Arizona. I just have a tough time here. Arizona puts themselves in an under role, and that's a problem situation for me as well. Now, I will say the under does have some legs to it. So you look at the Diamondbacks, 10-0 to the under, if they allowed more than 6 runs the previous game. So it should be a bounce back spot for this Pirates team for the Arizona's defense to kind of shut her down. And Rodriguez should be the guy to do it. But that's where I kind of still hear some of the prognosticators out there talking about these peripheral numbers and how it does impact the cap to the game. So I like the under 8.5. I like the fact that it's an afternoon start, but I'm going to lean to the Pirates. I'm going to lean to Jared Jones in this case here. I know Erod, with the sample size, he's looking pretty strong. I still can't resist the urge to back the Pirates here, especially in a small favorite role, simply because those bats have come together and they're starting to get it going at the right time. So we saw a ton of runs yesterday. Arizona almost coughed that lead up too, for what it's worth. Big 6-0 lead, comes back, ties it up, takes multiple extra inning facets to get that thing done. You got 55% of the bets, but only 42% of the cash on the Pirates. I'll lean to the under 8.5 in this game. It's a plus 105 price tag too here. I think that's a little contrarian play for an afternoon baseball game.
Yeah, I've had the hat for this series all three games. Guys, it's game three. We're not going away from it. The buy hat is engaged. Take Pittsburgh 1235. Get that on your ticket right now. It's a great spot, Mike. You're leading me into it. Great data here. Eddie Rodriguez is just too hot. He's 6-0 on the road outside of the division. And I tried to fade him on Friday at Washington. He caught a 3-2 win. Was he great? No. 7 hits, 3 walks, and 6 innings pitched, approaching a 1.5 whip. He's flirting with it. This is not going to sustain today, and it really is a great spot to buy Jared Jones. Jared Jones is 0-3 last 3 at home, 0-2 in July. Usually when you see a guy who's 0-2 at home in a month, he's not very good. That is not the case with Jones. This month at PNC Park, 12 innings pitched, only 1 earned run on a solo shot against. And Mike, you were saying it. You go through this series, both of the previous 2 games went to extra innings. So clearly these teams are fairly evenly matched. I think last night late was a bit of a telltale sign of what we're going to see this afternoon. The Pittsburgh Bats were actually getting shut out through, I believe, 7 innings against Brandon Pfaadt. They exploded for 3 runs late, and then a home run against Sewell in the 9th, a blown save, eventually losing the game in the 12th. But nonetheless, Bats have awakened. And just final point on this, we've been trying to sell Arizona all week. Arizona's been all over the country. They were at home. They were in St. Louis. They were in Washington. Now they're playing a matinee in Pittsburgh before they go to Cleveland. Like, Mike, how much can a team travel in 6 days? It's just distractions. And after last night's gauntlet, I think this leans heavily to the home team. Pittsburgh will be all over Eddie Rodriguez. This is unsustainable. 6-0. He was 4-6 on the road in this spot outside of the division last year. Regression coming. The buy hat is engaged. Take Pittsburgh. People get into this stadium. It's Wednesday afternoon. I know it's going to be empty. Mike, if we lived down the street, I'd go immediately after the show. We'd sit in the front row. We'd talk some business with Paul Skeens. We'd say, Paul, what's the deal, bro? We're not worried about Paul today. Jared Jones, it's your time. Let's cash and let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, 105 in D.C. Blue Jays at Nationals. Final game of this series. Final game of the season between these teams. Interleague Baseball, 1 series per year. Trey Savage at Zach Littell. Mike, not a lot of matchup data here for you, Savage. What's going on in this game?
You know, I'll tell you, just full disclosure, I read a stat yesterday, and it was like the 2 worst piles of shit in baseball were yesterday and then today with E Savage here. So, frankly, it had to do with walks, control, command. Like it was a roll-up stat that talked quite a bit about, you know, some of these spots. And I said to myself, man, the next time I see E Savage on the bump, I'm going to fade his ass. And so it turns out it's today. Who knew? Without even looking at it, it's like just internalizing the information to say, okay, now you look at these numbers and you say, okay, well, how do you get there? I mean, look, the Nats, not a great thing. You know, if they give up 5 or more runs the previous game, they do tend to struggle in that following spot, 0-10. So it's not pretty. It's early afternoon baseball. I still kind of feel like maybe I'm a little heady with this thing. Like, you know, when you start looking at the numbers and you say, okay, well, I rushed to the window to bet some afternoon baseball games, and then I'm just rushing to catch a loss here. So I'm not trying to zigzag in my own mentality, but 51% of the bets and 76% of the cash are on the Blue Jays. The line's gone from -120 to -113. So it does become a concern for me. And I thought the best way to attack this, take the bullpens out of the equation. Just take the Washington Nationals in the first 5. It's even money spot. And the thing about Littell, if you look at his numbers overall on what he's kind of his recent campaign, if you will, I'm okay with what I'm seeing out there. I mean, you know, his 5.07 ERA at home does suck, but look, he only gave up 1 earned run the last time. That was against that Diamondbacks team. He gave up 1 against the New York Yankees. He gave up 1 against the Pittsburgh. I mean, the guy's fine at home. And that's where he is today against a pile of, what do you want to call it? Dog shit. And he's Savage here. So I'll take the Washington Nationals first 5. Take that bullpen out of the equation. Give me the even money Washington Nats first 5.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely not Savage material here at this point for this guy. And we've detailed this now for weeks. I mean, this guy came out of the minors last year all the way to the World Series. He's clearly fatigued. He's 0-4 this month. His only road start in recent history at the National League was also a matinee. It looks like Saturday, 7-11 at San Diego. He didn't make it out of the second inning. 1 2/3 innings pitched, 7 walks, 4 earned runs. And that's the problem. The league is catching on to this guy. They know what he's throwing. They know his sequencing. It's a chess match, hitter versus pitcher. They know what he is going to deliver. So when they know, they cannot swing at off-speed pitches outside of the zone. And you're going to see a lot of walks. My official play in this game, guys, if you want to bet this is not a big play for me, but I'm going to give you guys a take in this game. Take the over. I think it correlates to what we're saying about Wsox here. 8-7 at San Diego. I think you're going to see a lot of runs here. Not only that, Lytle, very interesting stuff here. This guy used to pitch in the American League East with the Rays. So I'm going through this morning. He actually pitched well against Toronto when he pitched for the Rays. I asked myself, is that the Rays? It's the pitching whisperers. They really help these guys out. I think it is, because last year, Lytle, before signing with the Nats in the offseason, did pitch late season for the Cincinnati Reds and face Toronto and get absolutely rocked in a 13-9 final in which he gave up 4 home runs in the game. Mike, I'm going to throw it back to you for a second. I know you probably haven't handicapped this, but I know you are the home run prop dude. Do they tee off on this guy for a couple of home runs this afternoon?
I do like Washington Nationals team total first 5 overs. So, I can get there.
Well, last year, Vladdy Guerrero took Lytle deep. I was actually thinking Guerrero might get off this season-long hangover tour and take him deep this afternoon. Also, Varsho, I believe Barger got him. Bunch of different guys got it. I actually see multiple home runs here for Toronto this afternoon. Any thoughts?
I just can't get there. I just can't see Toronto's bats doing what they did again today. And guys like Oak. So first of all, you got favorable, if there was favorable pitching conditions, 12 miles an hour coming in shuts that ball down. So any of those guys that like to pitch to, pop fly hitters out there are going to struggle to kind of find a way. And then you look at it. So nobody on the Nationals team has seen Wsox. And your best hitters, George Springer's only got 154 against the guy. Alejandro Kirk and Varsho are the 2 guys to certainly be concerned with, right? But one guy's a fucking catcher. He's got 7 at-bats and 3 hits. So I'm not concerned about that. The other guy's the center fielder in Varsho. That guy's down 6 in the order, and he's only going to probably see, maybe he sees twice. I'd be concerned about the total in this game for me. But like I said, I think the advantage lies with Lytle. And having that previous experience against these guys means he's got a playbook on these hitters. Akamoto, that's the guy I would look for. Okamoto's son. I saw a great tweet the other day about that guy. I told you guys he was going to go yardstick. He did that. And he's got no experience against Lytle. So, hey, 0 for 0. That O might have to go. It's going to be an O somewhere, but it's not going to necessarily be in the home run column. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, no, I think ultimately over in this game, best luck. Both pitchers could struggle, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, going game 1 in Queens this afternoon. Braves at Mets. Anthony, AJ, I'm not even sure the guy's name, Smith Shawver on the bump at Sean Manaea. Mike, we tried to cap this game last night. There was rain in the city. I was actually watching some videos, some people hanging out in New York. It looked like a beautiful summer night, little rain. Not for baseball. People in the speakeasies having a little whiskey, some red wine. Now you got to come for baseball. We're getting Smith Shawver here coming off the injury list, and Manaea in start 2 against Atlanta. Mike, I'm kind of just daydreaming about New York City in a rainstorm, but what's going on in this game?
I'll say something, man. Talk about vibes. That's a great town to be at when it comes, like the little small towns there, the little boroughs that have the, or not even boroughs, but the little townships there that have the outdoor bars. You'll walk down the street and all of a sudden, boom, there's like 3 little shitty metal tables outside and uncomfortable chairs as hell, but pulling up a pint and enjoying the afternoon or the evening is not a bad way to spend your time. I'm a Philly guy. I think the city's a lot cleaner, very similar, but cleaner. Now, LeBron James, you're going to fly a helicopter to Philadelphia. So I don't know why he doesn't want to live in the PHL, but that's a different story for a different day. This is actually the matchup that got rescheduled from yesterday is going to be game 2. So kind of they screwed up the rain this week here. I don't know if they're cloud seeding or what the case is here, but we had that Reds game. We were all fired up for that thing. That thing got all gummed up. Now we got this Mets game, and we had ourselves a situation with, I thought it was going to be a great matchup in Sale versus Scott, but that got pushed to this evening's game. So now we've got Smith Shawver, guy's out of Texas. You talk about it. This guy's he's a youngin'. He's coming in here off the IL as well. So I don't know what we're going to see from this guy. I would be inclined to take over in this first game. I take over in this first game and under in the second game, simply because I think the matchup is conducive to it in the second game. We saw a shitload of runs 2 nights ago in that Atlanta Mets game. The Mets blew it late. Or I'm sorry, the Atlanta Braves blew it late. I think they come back with firing on runs early, and I don't like this price for either of these pitchers. I would say, go over, then go under. Zigzag, baby. Zigzag. Hey.
I agree. I think this is an over. I don't love the game. This is just really kind of speculation. It's just classic game one of a doubleheader, kind of unplanned. There's not going to be a lot of fans in this stadium. You talk about these summer afternoons. This is going to be one of the smallest crowds you'll ever see at Citi Field. And Monet could be distracted. Smith Shawver hasn't pitched in a while. He's coming off the injury list. He didn't look great last year either. Really tough game, guys. Go to the game for $10 in New York. It's a rare sight. You had to pay about $10,000 to get into the NBA Finals at Madison Square Garden to sit up in the roof. You can probably sit in the front row at Citi Field for like $50. Fun baseball, garbage baseball to cap. We will keep it moving. Next game on the card, 110 in Detroit. Orioles at Tigers. Big dog stuff this afternoon at Comerica. Trevor Rogers on the bump against Tarek Skubal. Mike, when you handicap contemporary American League Baseball, lefty versus lefty matchups rarely get better than this. I'm excited for this one. What do you think of this matchup?
Yeah, I can't wait to fade Skubal in this spot here. And everyone's going to be like, what? It's Skubal. What? Look, probably his last game in Detroit. He's not scheduled to start again until after the trade deadline. So let's go Philly, man. Make a big splash, boys. You got LeBron. The news is all warmed up. They're primed up for the takeover of the 215. So let's go, baby. But that's a personal preference here. I'll tell you what, though. To me, I always wonder with these pitchers, right? What kind of guy are they in the locker room? Skubal. He can't get run support. Gives up, he goes out, puts his 11. Is he just Hollywood and everyone can't stand it? Is there a little bit of Skubal saying, hey, you don't want to be here? You don't want to re-sign with us? Fuck you, Skubal. And for that reason, I'll take a shot with Baltimore here at a price tag that's favorable. Now I get it. It's Skubal. So, we don't need to talk about this guy's, he's a world beater. We know that he can go out there, and he came back in record time from the injury. But a plus 170 right now just feels like a wide gap for a guy like Rogers, who's been playing fair. And on top of that, 85% of the bets and 92% of the cash are riding this Detroit side of things here. It's only moved a couple of cents. So, to me, I like that. I also like the under in this game, but I went to the first 5. I mean, we saw the other reason I can comfortably say I want to take Baltimore. We just saw 72 runs get scored by Detroit yesterday. Baltimore coming off that no-go. I mean, to me, it's just like the zigzag theory here, the pendulum shifting, whatever you want to call it. I like the Baltimore at a risky plus 170. And then I took the first 5. You can get an under 4 at minus 130. And it's starting to move even lower now. So 3.5s at plus 108s, plus 113s. Those have been the death of me for, baseball in the first half of the season, these Detroit Tiger first 5 unders. But I'm going to ride back with it here today, and I think Rogers and Skubal can put on a show.
Yeah, I see a quick game here. It's another one of these afternoon matinees, getaway game. Both teams going to weekend series. Orioles actually play the Phillies over the weekend, and the Tigers are actually going out to the West Coast to face the A's after this, which I think leans more towards your Orioles take and even more strength. Tough spot for the Tigers here. You got to get on a plane. You're going west to Sacramento after this game, and as you said, this might be the last start for Skubal. Confusion. Not fluidity. So I think the Orioles would be the side. I haven't gotten there. Ultimately, sometimes as much as you like to fade these ace pitchers with authority, I actually do struggle getting there, fading these ace pitchers. One thing that also leans towards Baltimore here, Trevor Rogers is coming off a loss at home last Friday against the Atlanta Braves, 7-6 in extras. He pitched well in the game, only 2 earned runs. Last time he lost a home game versus a National League opponent, same thing. only 2 earned runs, lost to San Diego on a Sunday in mid-June. He went on the road. Very similar spot, actually, at the Dodgers as a significant underdog. Complete ace mode, 0 earned runs, 7 innings pitched, only 1 hit. Did beat the Dodgers 3-2. So this is where Rodgers bounces back. He travels off a home loss, and he does perform as a significant dog. One shout to the chat. Our guy Phil says, what's this talk of the Phillies scouting Scooble? They've never seen this guy. Phil, I kid you not, this morning when I was having coffee, I had that exact same thought. I saw that headline, and I was like, they need scouts to go see this guy.
I was laughing about it. They said they were scouting the dude all weekend. I was like, what are you fucking looking at? What are you putting some tape in to see? You know who the guy is. Do you want him or don't you? And then what's the price you're willing to pay for him? I'll tell you, you talk about fading these, premier pitchers, and I think it's to a degree, right? So we've been documented probably the most successful fading schemes team here on the planet. And a lot of the reason comes down to this. If you put lipstick on the pig, guess what you have? A fucking pig. It's pretty simple. So, it's a pretty pig, but it's still bacon, it's still pork chops, and it's still a rack of ribs. So at the end of the day, to me, maybe a pork butt, you want to throw it on the smoker, the shoulder, whatever. It's a story for a different day. But I think that's where you can try to start to find some of these outlier situations. Now, if you put Scooble in the Dodgers, he's minus 380 with that offense, despite Kyle Tucker shit in the bed yesterday. And now what are you going to do? Well, now I'm not going to play it because I'm not going to lay 3 runs to get a Scooble start. So that's what happens when you move these starters away. So it's not, for me, it's not just fading them because they're aces. It's about just trying to find those spots where I think the story tells us, the tale of the tape. And the tale of the tape here is you got a team that just got shut out yesterday. I love those bounce backs off a shutout. And Scooble's, was he going to go 9 innings with a no-hitter?
Doubtful. No, I mean, and as we said yesterday, or as you said yesterday, 14-0 looked like the Lions' first quarter score over the Ravens in mid-October. But we told you guys yesterday we love Troy Melton. I honestly should have given you guys alts yesterday. Mike and I were talking about it off the record. That game just reeked of a blowout. So we kind of left it a little remiss yesterday, but we are absolutely focused and locked in now, Mike, and we got a video. Appreciation is appreciated, guys. If you haven't dropped a like on the video, please do it right now. It helps to spread the content across the internet. We appreciate it immensely, and let's keep the show moving. Next game on the card, more afternoon baseball, 3:45 in San Francisco. Brewers-Giants closing up a series here. Shane Drohan at Logan Webb. Also, I believe the final game of the season between these teams. Mike, you called it last night. You said the bounce back was coming. It was Logan Henderson. The guy shoved. It was a total blowout. Can the Brewers do it again this afternoon?
Yeah, I'll add to that, man. Appreciate you guys that do take the time to smash the thumbs up button. Whether you're watching us live, you're catching us on the replay, we're constantly trying to strive to give you guys a better viewing experience. And frankly, I'm excited about the things to come. Wait till you guys see we've got a brilliant new graphics package we're trying to fire out there. We've got a bunch of fun things happening in the world of the sports betting universe here. We got great shows on deck for you guys as well. So if you haven't done so, again, we just ask you guys, take a quick second, give us a thumbs up button, show some love and support, and we'll keep firing it up for you guys here. I'm trying to get a couple of quick bets in here. I realized I got an early win bonus, so I want to take advantage of that. And my bad. I should have done this beforehand. I didn't realize that one started at 1 p.m. But let's go. We got ourselves some action here. Look, I gave you guys the Brewers yesterday. That was my favorite spot on the card. I know you talked about it too, Shark, and it was a terrific bounce back situation. And I think it goes to be said that the same thing states today here. Brewers against righties in these low totals are an absolute wagon this year. They've cashed 12 in a row. They're 15-2 on the season. Ain't going to stop, won't stop. Not back in Logan Webb in this spot here. I probably think it's another under like we had yesterday, but I'm on the Brewers. I think it's a great money value play. A lot of guys will talk to you about value. We've said it before. There's no value in losing. Oh, this team, they're a top 5 and I can still get them at plus 600 to win the whole season. And I'll take the futures bet. I don't define, I can get you a plus 600 and 1 RBI prop today. So no, or a home run prop. So no, I don't see value in losing, but I think that in the case with Drohan and Webb, they're pricing this down because the Brewers are on the road and the Webb has that, what do you want to call it? Prestige to his name, the je ne sais quoi of Logan Webb that makes me want to puke. So I'll take the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's go.
Yeah, I agree. And, just on that comment about value, when you hear value in sports betting, it's usually people telling you they have a losing wager that they find to be kind of sexy from a price standpoint. It's like a bad thing that your wife is buying at a yard sale and she just sees this thing she's going to put on the shelf for 7 to 8 years and not touch, but spend $200 on. Value is not a good word. It really isn't. It's an incredibly fraudulent word if we're being honest. Winners don't want value. They want winners. And, Mike, I agree. This is a winner this afternoon. I have the Brewers as well. And you're talking about this je ne sais quoi with Logan Webb. I know you live in upstate New York by the Canadian border, a little Francais here. Logan Webb, not speaking French, no fluidity on Wednesdays at home. Very spot-specific stuff. 2 home starts this year out by the Bay, both as an underdog, both out of the division, and both on Wednesday. 7-0 loss to the Yankees and Max Fried. The Yankees were laying the same line, minus 125. And recently against Dylan Cease was laying minus 120. 10-0 Blue Jays. Dylan Cease almost threw a perfect game. And that really brings me to the final point of this handicap. San Francisco Giants just don't hit the baseball. If they score more than 2 runs, you're impressed. And I think it's managerial more than it is even lineup. I think this is a flat team. When I was watching the first series of the year as a Yankee fan, it was actually Yankees playing out at San Francisco, as I mentioned, Max Fried beating Logan Webb. But they hired this manager from college baseball. And I was thinking about this before. When does it ever work to hire a college coach and plug him into professional sports? It just never works. You got Nick Saban with the Dolphins. You got guys going to the NBA from college. Billy Donovan, he just got fired from the Bull. It just never, ever works. So what in God's name were the San Francisco Giants thinking hiring this manager out of college baseball? I have no idea. The guy looks like Robbie Ray. For anybody who's watched the Dodgers or the Giants, manager and Robbie Ray look like brothers. He has no motivation. I'm getting a little long-winded on it, but it's just so bad to hire college managers and expect them to be able to really coach professional players. That all being said, the Brewers are a great spot. Shane Drohan was on the receiving end of that blowout win at home, 16-2 against the Giants in the previous series against Landon Roop. Drohan will shove. Webb does struggle in this spot. Great spot this afternoon. Take the Brewers and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line. More afternoon baseball, 4:10 in San Diego. Rockies-Padres game 2. Gabriel Hughes it looks like Griffin Canning, maybe to be determined. I'm not sure. Different books have different numbers here, Mike. Funky little 2-game series here, actually. This is the last game of the series. What's going on here?
Yeah, how about this, man? I was over on my friend Sharpie Betts show yesterday doing a little hitting props out there. What a glorious spot, man. I had texted him this morning. I was like, how could he not romanticize about baseball? Down in the game, find a way to come back, and out comes Xander Bogaerts, plus 205 to get an RBI. And one click of the wrist, one flick of the bat, whatever the case may be. Nice little plus 205. And they win the game on top of that here. So that being said, I'm going to back Hughes and fade the Padres in this case. And again, it's another little, plus money price tag. I'm not one of those guys that beats my chest and says, oh, I fade him every single time. And look at, no, but I think you have to do it where the situation makes sense. And if you look at what's going on with Hughes here, just a couple starts in baseball right now. What's he got? 4 or 5 starts now. And so the jury's going to come back on this guy, but dude's got a sub-3 ERA and he pitches at Coors. Come on. That game was supposed to go under yesterday. What shocked me? Colorado exploding on offense. And look, at the end of the day, off a tight loss, these teams that do find themselves in game 2s bounce back if they've got totals under 9. So to me, it's one of those grind them out, take the plus money spots where you can here. Wednesdays, by the way, game 2, dogs off a loss, 27-12 in the bounce back spot this past season of baseball. So I think there's some meat on this bone, man. I think we can go out there and feast a little bit with a nice plus money Colorado Rockies plus 135s, plus 140s. Sign me up, man. Fade away on these Padres. Griffin gas canning if he has an opener, and then I don't care who's in there at this point. Make sure you take action.
I agree. I mean, I think today is the day I have to just draw the line and order a Rockies hat. How do I not have a Rockies hat to put? The spots are rare, but this is one of them, Mike. I completely agree. I think the Rockies win this game by at least 2 runs, if I'm being honest. I think it's a great spot. You know, when I introed the game, I said this is a 2-game series. When I was looking at it before, I thought to myself, we rarely ever see 2-game series anymore. So this is really just kind of an in and out. And we said it last night. The Padres were coming off a long road trip. Yesterday was their first game at home in the second half. They go late in the game. They walk it off. You got to come back in a matinee. This is the end of the series. And then you get a day off, stay at home, and open up a weekend series on Friday in the division against the Giants. So this, for me, is just your ultra trap game. And the books do agree. This is the 6th game this year at home for San Diego against the Rockies. The lines have been minus 180, minus 178, minus 168, minus 225, minus 230, and this is minus 136. This is by far the shortest line the Padres have laid at home all year in this spot. And, Mike, this is this guy, Gabriel Hughes. You're talking about him. I mispronounced his name about a week and a half ago. I will never do that again. I was doing a little research before. This guy was a top 10 pick for the Rockies 4 years ago out of Gonzaga. He's one of these young horses. He's 6'4", he's 240, he throws gas. Not only that, he's got a brain on his shoulders. He graduated from Gonzaga in 3 years, and he's trying to go to med school. Mike, you know who this reminded me of? You're probably not going to get this, but this guy's mother's from Belize, too. There's another pitcher in Major League Baseball who is from Central America, who went to med school himself and has parents as doctors. He used to pitch for the Marlins. He pitches for the Twins now. Can you get him?
Taj Bradley?
Pablo Lopez.
I was going to follow it up. I thought you were going to say Tommy Boy when you said a lot of guys go to school for 7 years. Yeah, they're called doctors.
Yeah, but, I mean, you got a guy who's a top 10 pick for being a great pitcher. This guy's really smart. I mean, he's got a head on his shoulders. I think he's going to be totally in control. And final point on this, gas canning here is in full gas canning form. His last 2 home starts, he hasn't made it past the 5th inning. He looked okay early season. This is clearly just this guy fatiguing mid-season. He's 30 years old, doesn't have a big body or a big arm. And this guy Hughes in his only road game almost beat the Dodgers heads up. Only 3 earned runs in 6 innings pitched. This is really an elite level handicap. I think this is a terrible spot for the Padres. 2 quick games off a road trip, in and out. We rarely even get these 2-game series anymore, Mike. I mean, can you remember the last time we saw a 2-game series this season? Yeah, like really weird. So I think this leans towards the dog 100%. Take the Rockies and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. Night baseball. First game in the evening slate, 6:40 in Tampa Bay. Rangers-Rays at the Trop. Mackenzie Gore at Casey Legumina. Looks like maybe an opener for Seymour. Not entirely sure what's going on, Mike. What's going on here?
We're going right back to Texas, baby. That's what's going on here. We cashed him yesterday. What a glorious damn. I was doing something. And I looked down and I was like, oh, it's 1-0. Cool. Stay cool. We've been here before. Big dog. And then that's 2-0. They 4-1. I'm like, woo, we're going to get this money home. And I think we get it home again today. You know, for all fairness, there's some good numbers on both sides of this equation, you know, so you kind of got to look at the story on both sides, right? At home against lefties on a total over a 7, the Rays are 14-0. So check the box. Now, when you look at that number, is it worth paying? I mean, look what you got to pay to get involved in the Tampa business. Minus 150. They just came off a loss. Now, I'll talk to you about the compression effect here, indexing these teams. I told you guys yesterday, I talked to Shark the other day. I was coming back from picking up a pie, and I'm like, dude, I think I'm going to look and see how many games the Rays are going to lose here going into the next 6 weeks. And then flip side of that, we got a big dog yesterday. Today, we got the Rangers in a 14-0 spot. If they struck out more than 9 times, they're winning those follow-up games by almost 3 runs per game. It's 2.7 runs per game. That's developing margin on those sides as well. So, yeah, listen, Gore becomes the question mark for me. I don't care so much about Lagaminas or whatever his name is. Probably a terrific lager. I don't drink it. I'm a straight vodka guy, although I started mixing into some of them spiked seltzers myself. But I'll take Mackenzie Gore. I'll take the shot with this guy. And, the Rangers have been firing. They had a really tight series against Seattle. They played Atlanta really hard. I think this is a good opportunity. Get out of the fucking way, Tampa Bay. Gonna get run over today.
Yeah, I could see it. And that's Lagunitas Brewing
Lagunitas.
Company. Some great beers, actually. I'm trying to think what their good ones are. They got little something Maximus IPA. Great beers, guys. Good brewery out there. But Mike, I agree. I think Mackenzie Gore could shove here. I don't love the game. I will definitely be leaning on that side as well. Texas for Mike, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, 7:10 in Cincinnati. Guardians Reds, final game of the year, Battle of Ohio. 2 series, both interleague. This is the last one of the season. Cantillo against Singer. Mike, we were trying to figure this one out yesterday. The doubleheader just did not go our way. Ultimately, Chase Burns gave up 4 unearned runs in the first inning, just kind of spiraling the entire day out of control. That all being said, we thought Singer was going to pitch yesterday. He did not pitch. He's pitching tonight. What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, look, I told you guys about the fade guy. Fade guy went 0-2 yesterday, which means we went 2-0 today. And based on early peripherals, I would simply say you got to play the Cleveland Guardians under in their run total out there. Guardians under 4.5 runs, -105 is going to be the play for me.
Okay, I'm not entirely sure if that translates to a win or a loss, but I hope they win the game 3-1 because the buy hat is engaged. And guys, I rarely wear maroon shirts, but we got the whole package going on here today. We got the maroon and the maroon, and I'm just staying the course. Gavin Williams took a loss last night. For those of you guys who bet listed pitchers, you actually did get voided in that spot when Singer was removed from the game. Gavin Williams pitched great. I mean, he had double-digit Ks, and the Guardians could just do absolutely nothing against a bullpen game from Cincinnati. So it brings me back to the original handicap. You want to fade Brady Singer when he's pitching against the Guardians. He already lost this team on the road 10-3. And Joey Cantillo in that previous series did catch a win 7-4. Cantillo's going to bounce back. Singer will get his ass kicked here. And truthfully, I think this is just a zigzag series. You saw the Guardians catch a win in the opener yesterday. Shutout last night, clearly fatigue. Reboot before travel. Cleveland's just a superior team. Their run differential is significantly better, and the line does agree. I really like Cleveland in this spot tonight, Mike. I could see, hopefully, maybe 3-1. We'll both cash. Take the Guardians, and let's cash. Any further comments or keeping it moving?
It's one of those comments where it's like, I should say something, but I'm not going to say anything. If you show me a history of losing, I'm going to find a way not to be on that side of things. That's how you become a fade guy.
Yeah, I'm curious as to who our fade guy is in this spot. But
I'll tell you afterwards.
I don't think the buy element in this game leans me towards Brady Singer. I will say that. Anyway, keeping it moving down the line here. And going back to Citi Field, Braves-Mets game 2 tonight. Chris Sale at Christian Scott. What we thought we were going to get yesterday will go down on this Wednesday night. Mike, we tried to give him the under yesterday. We're going back to the source, I believe.
Broke my fucking heart to see that. As soon as it was like the show got done and I'm flipping through, I was doing a DFS lineup and I flip through and I see postpone. And I was like, geez, they're not even going to try to wait and see. They're just going to fire off and say, no, go. So that just crushed my heart and soul. I thought it was such a terrific spot to take that under. And now I got to wait and see. I want to see the first game go over. I want to see the second game go under. But yeah, I mean, I see Professor says, don't tell me you guys are fading. I was going to fade him yesterday and I was feeling pretty fucking good about it. But now with this doubleheader nonsense, I just don't like to be involved in these games. And it's hard to get predictive. And so some people will be like, oh, you just don't take the double headers. Well, it's because you don't know, right? You don't know what they're going to do from a bull. How much do the Atlanta Braves want game 1 versus game 2? And you won't know that until you start to see how many pieces of the bullpen do they put out there. And, the 7s have moved to 7.5s today, but the ticket counts are all screwed up again because now instead of having a full, example or illumination of what's happening out there, we reset. All those bets got voided. So I'll tell you this, the line with early action. Okay. So they get voided. It has been reset and they're starting to put money back together here. 71% of the bets and 82% of the cash, right? So if you're new here, we talk about percentage of bets being kind of the makeup. It's all of the soup. It's all the tickets being written. It's parlays, it's props, it's teasers, it's round robins, it's the whole fucking thing. All the smash. Everybody, that's the public. The public's betting on the Braves. Then you look at sharper bettors, bigger money coming in, and they're betting on the Atlanta Braves. 82% of the cash. So if everybody's betting on the Braves because it's Chris Sale Day, why is the line gone down 22 cents? It's gone from minus 176 to minus 154. If you're not going to zigzag over and then under, take a look and hope that you find hopefully the Braves win the first game and you can fade Chris Sale in the second game. And ideally, they'll use a shit ton of bullpen pieces to do it.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, we think we might see runs in the early going here with Smith-Shawver against Monet. This is going to be an under. And if this goes over, because of the outlier environment of a doubleheader, so be it. This is baseball. We bet thousands of sides. It's one unit. But we said it last night. We'll say it again. Chris Sale did have a game at home against the Mets on July 4th. And the final score was 17 runs, 14-3. But the line was 8.5. So the books actually did have a grip on Sale that night. And again, guys, July 4th in Atlanta, it was a distraction. Fireworks. It was Saturday night. This is the polar opposite. This is game 2 of a doubleheader. And just to draw us back to yesterday, if you want to correlate doubleheaders to doubleheaders, you saw the nightcap last night between the Guardians and the Reds. The bats were fatigued. And it centers us in what we always talk about. The pitchers pitch 1 out every 5 days, so they're ready to go. The lineups are what really fatigue in some of these games. And I think you're going to see a really low-scoring game. And Christian Scott, as we mentioned, is 4-0-1 versus the home under. 2-0 versus the home under in the division. Great under. Not going to waste any more time on this game. Take the under and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. Getting into the later card tonight, 7:40 in Minnesota. Twins-Royals game 2. Joe Ryan against, I believe this guy's name is Randy Dobnak.
Randy.
Yeah, Randy Dobnak. Mike, last night, funky game. You tried to take the Royals. I tried to take the run line. Nothing worked out. The Twins are just an outlier waiting to happen. Joe Ryan here not looking good. What's going on here?
So they said a couple things that we should dismiss here. One is they're not planning to move Joe Ryan. They said that they're going to keep this guy. They're going to keep him pat. And I just, I texted you earlier. It's like the one loss that ate me up yesterday. I mean, look, it sucks to watch the Dodgers lose, but frankly, I'm okay with it. I don't like having money on it and watching it go down like a sinking ship, but that game was entertaining. Freddie Freeman for an RBI. What a fucking disgrace that guy was. Was it the 4th inning? He's got bases loaded and he just pop flies. And it's like, dude, but I told you guys, when you're laying run lines on teams, run line and odds, run line in general, can the team go out there and win by multiple runs? That's not Minnesota. But the problem is Kansas City in heartbreaking fashion, runners on first and second, 1 out in the 9th inning, and then, crack of the bat, yardstick. Nobody won that game. The books won that game. They crushed us. Now, what we should have done, and what I text Shark is I said, dude, when we were both looking at a shit team like this in the middle of the country and got to lay odds, or we should have just been on the under. That was such an easy play. And so I'll probably look back to that again today and look to the under in this game. I'm pissed about this game from yesterday. I've said it before. I hate losses more than I like wins. I'll quote 2 for the money. And there's a difference. And in this spot here, I just got so mad at that game yesterday. I was mad at myself for not being in on that under, especially AL Central teams. We've talked about the unders in those spots as well. Like, what the fuck? I look at the under in this game. I'll probably take Dubnik again because fuck Joe Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't need to watch movies to know that about myself either. I absolutely hate losing far more than I like winning. Winning is just the status quo. It's what we do. If we lose, I mean, I expect to win every single wager. And especially with baseball, you get outlier in some of these variant spots. It's very frustrating. Mike, I mean, I was snapshotting you some screenshots before. The under we had yesterday, I don't know what the hell we were doing. We just missed it. But that being said, this is a tough game for me. I think Joe Ryan is very polarized in this environment tonight. He's either going to really lock it in. He's coming off a break. I give him a couple extra days off because of some sort of arm fatigue. He looked terrible in his last start. I've been talking about this guy every day. He pitches. He's a dog. He's a competitor. So competitors usually do bounce back more than kind of the average Joes. But this guy, Randy Dobnak here, did used to pitch for the Twins, Mike. So little revenge game potentially.
Oh.
And this guy Dobnak seems to be catching real sketchy wins on the road for the Royals. It's kind of like Luinder Avila. All these real scrappy Royals pitchers just kind of hanging on for a fledgling team in the lineup. Too many words for a crap game. I honestly could see it go either way. I could see Joe Ryan locking it in a blowout or Dobnak revenging his old team. Tough game, guys. There's better games. And the next game is far better. Also 7:40, center of the country, involving this division, but certainly not divisional baseball. White Sox hosting the New York Yankees tonight at 7:40 at Wrigley Field. Game 3 of this series. Cam Schlittler at Davis Martin. Mike, this is truly a game I am not only excited to bet, but watch. Should be a big dog special tonight. What's going on here?
Dude, I could not believe how many people had to. I mean, the arguments that I was having throughout the day with people, it wasn't even a debate. It was just, how are you going to take the Yankees? I was like, how are you going to take the White Sox? What are we doing here? You get the Yankees at that price tag. Stop overthinking it. The first game of the series was the spot they should win. Now, look, this is a battle right now, and something to be said about the Yankee pinstripes mesmerizing you, right? When they come out there on the bump, and you've got Cam Schlittler as one of those guys to do it. So I really like this spot for Cammy. I gave a parlay earlier today on Winnable to the subscribers over there for a Luzardo strikeouts coupled with a Schlittler strikeout spot. I really like the Schlittler strikeout spot. I think this is a really great opportunity for you to get involved in the okay business with these guys. You know, it was tight. You could argue it was, look, it was one bad pitch for the Yankees that gave the 2 runs to the White Sox. Outside of that, the Yankees have dominated this entire series. So you got to go back to it, and then you got to respect the fact. Now it is 7.5 at plus money, so that does concern me all the time. But they just the Yankees off a win, kick the shit out of this division. So got to run back to it here. You know, Colson Montgomery and Munetaka Murakami. Okay, sure, those guys can go yardstick, but nobody else is hitting this guy. Chicago's got the 7th highest strikeout rate against righties on the season. And so outside of those 2 outliers, and don't forget, now Murakami had a huge bobblehead day, one of the best I've ever seen, but he was dealing with back injury coming back into this thing. So the White Sox off a 1-loss run, you know, you're winning 62% of the time if you fade them. Just fade them in general, you're winning 67% of the time. The White Sox, or the Yankees rather, off a road win against the AL Central. That's the spot I gave you guys yesterday. The Yankees off a road win against the AL Central are 20-1. Now, you want to argue about the head fake with this line. Let's talk about that for a second too. Because what happens in these spots is you see the pitchers, and the books know the profitability report shows Davis Martin's right up there. I think he's top 3 right now. So they're pricing this thing down because it's Davis Martin coming into this thing. I think I can justify it. I think I can value the Yankees, and I like that Schlittler K prop as well.
Yeah, it's a big dog game, guys. I got 2 hats in front of me. Mike, I like the color of that shirt. Is that navy?
I'm not sure.
I think it's navy.
It's so big, it's just on my head.
The buy hat is engaged. You're making great points. I agree with all of them. And not only that, I was handicapping this before. Cam Schlittler, what is up, my guy? I mean, this is incredible stuff. This guy on the road, outside of the division, 50 1/3 innings pitched, only 21 hits, only 8 walks, only 4 earned runs. I have written down here, legendary. This guy is a force. And those 4 earned runs were all on solo home runs. So this guy hasn't given up a run all year. That was a cluster of hits together, rode outside of the division. And I started to go through the psychology of this guy. He's just perpetually pissed off and focused. I mean, he grew up in Boston area. I think he was from Walpole or something. He grew up in the window of the Belichick Patriots. Maybe he was taking course. You know, you got to put some bulletin board material yourself on the wall. Somebody trolling you, talking shit. He gets fired up to pitch on the road. And you talk about the White Sox here. We've been buying the White Sox all year. This is a class difference, and this is where Davis Martin is falling into the trap we've seen from all of these darling pitchers this year. You got to remember there's been about 3 or 4 of these guys this year that nobody really heard of, that caught a lot of heat. The last one that really comes to mind was Jose Soriano. He cashed tickets for about 8 weeks, and then he fell apart. That's the current conversation with Davis Martin. The guy's 0-4 last 4, 0-4 this month. He's giving up runs in clusters. The only home start this year he had this month against an American League East opponent, he got rocked against Boston. 5 earned runs in 4 innings pitched. And final point on this, Martin did pitch at the Yankees on a weeknight, Tuesday, June 16th, and lose 12-2, giving up 9 earned runs in only 3 1/3, including 3 home runs to Spencer Jones, Ben Rice, and Paul Goldschmidt. This is a Yankees party in the south side of Chicago tonight. They are going to rout this guy. Big dog stuff. I see run line as well, guys. The buy hat is engaged. Mike didn't even know it before the show. The buy shirt is engaged, Mike. You're all over the Navy. Take the Yankees and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line.
For what it's worth, just as regards to the buy shirt, about 80% of my wardrobe is navy blue. So just
maybe you're just you don't even know you're a Yankee fan, but you just are.
I am definitely not. Let's go.
Get ready to bet a little Caleb Williams, Chicago Bears in the fall as well. That nice Navy Chicago.
Of course. We know who's going to win that division. Don't get me started there.
Dude, that's where the Navy Chicago comes out. This is the Yankees.
Bear down. Michael Parsons goes on the physically unable to prepare list. He's out to start the season. Green Bay's in trouble, man.
Just off the record here for a second, but did you guys happen to see that video of CJ Stroud walking into training camp?
Yeah.
What on earth was that?
And he was like bow-legged. He looked like he had an ACL injury going on out there. Like
he looked like he had like zero self-confidence too. It looked like a freshman walking into like in high school. He didn't know anybody. He's kind of like, he doesn't know what's going on.
Dude, so Kamaru Usman goes out there to fight last week, right? DDP in the UFC, and everyone's talking about Usman's legs. And as soon as it started, I was like, dude, as a guy that had a knee injury, you can see there's no lateral movement in his legs. Now go watch CJ Stroud walk into that arena or that stadium or wherever, that training facility. Where's the lateral movement in those knees, man? That's a fade and then some for these guys.
Yeah, and the reason why I got reminded of that is because when I was watching that video, it segued me to a video of CJ Stroud talking to Caleb Williams after a game the Texans played the Bears like last year or the year before. I think it was 2 years ago, Caleb Williams' rookie year. And CJ Stroud was like congratulating Caleb Williams for not taking hits and like being kind of like passive. Caleb Williams is looking at this dude like, why is this guy talking to me? Like, he is like the softest dude in the room. And Caleb Williams is such a fucking dog. Like, Caleb Williams gets so much shade for painting his nails. And so I think he's just trolling people. I think he's just such a gamer. So anyway, we're talking Chicago. We're talking football, baseball. We got a bunch of stuff going on. We're going to be buying the Bears this fall, guys, but we are not buying the White Sox tonight. Yankees, let's cash and let's keep it moving. Next game on the card.
Shark, I'll tell you what they can buy for us is a thumbs up button. It actually costs you nothing on top of it. They're on sale right now. If you like the content that's going on out here, you guys want to see more, you can't wait till the fall to share with you guys what we have in schedule. We've already been talking. We're already grinding. We're already building the graphics packages out for it, you guys. So stay tuned. But all we ask you to do, whether you're live or you're catching us on the replay, is like this video, comment on the videos that we put out there. We're doing our best to give you guys winning content on the regular, and just want to hear from you guys. Let us know. Do you like what's going on? Are you making money by doing it? And you can do that by smashing that like button.
If you guys haven't clicked the like, this is your chance to backdoor the show. You missed it before. Heat check it. Hit the button right now. And let's cash. Our guy says White Sox money line. He must not be listening to the English language on this show right now. Nine Legacy, we love you, brother. How could you fade all that analysis? Come on, man. Anyway, let's keep it moving down the line. More Chicago baseball. Next game, Cubs at Cardinals, 7:45 in St. Louis. Boyd at May. Mike, we had a lot on the White Sox game. I personally don't have much on this one. What do you think?
This is a very, very tricky spot. And I'll tell you why. Couple things. Boyd's been on fire, right? Cubs have been performing for this guy, and they're telling the story, man. Then you got the flip side of things here is the Cardinals, and I told you I think they're due for regression. I kind of faded my own thought and breakdown with these guys. I'm not going to do it here, though. I'm going to take a look at. I get it. We talk all the time about just because a team's due or a team's facing a sweep doesn't mean that they don't get swept, right? And that certainly is the circumstance here. Prime time, especially the Cubs have been playing really great at night. They've won 4 in a row in those spots. Matty Boyd's 4-0 against a weaker team, if you will. But hey, Dustin May whispers, stand up, unite, man. Avoiding the sweep at home for what it's worth in the last 5 years, 326 and 260. Okay. It's 586 games. But what you need to know about that is it's winning at a 56% rate and it's generated almost 61 units of profit. So this number's moved a little bit against the Cardinals here. Game 3, avoiding getting swept as well. 21 years. How about this, man? 21 years in this model, 62.5% winning. I'm going to go with Dustin May and the Cardinals. Fuck the Cubs in this spot.
Hey, if you like it, I like it. I haven't gotten there. Honestly, this kind of reminds me of one of the games we said yesterday where the market was just a split. It was minus 110 on both sides. It was actually the Marlins game yesterday. Phillies, Marlins, both teams were opening at the same number, minus 110. It's the same thing. Current line, 110, 110. So for me, it's a pick 'em, but I do agree May is due to bounce back. Boyd is a little too hot. He's won like 7 straight games. Definitely a bit of a market cap. I might get there this afternoon. Have not really gotten there in any officiality at this point. Mike likes the Cardinals, and we will keep it moving. 3 late night games tonight. 9:38, going back to Angels Stadium in Anaheim. Astros Angels, game 3 of this series. Grayson Rodriguez on the home bump versus Hayden Wesnecky. Talk about pitchers coming across here. This guy used to pitch for the Cubs, actually. Nice little segue. Rodriguez looking awful at home. Mike, what's going on here?
Yeah, this is the old fade guy special of the day. I mean, look, there's no way this game stays under the total. These two pitchers should go out there and get roasted like a bunch of marshmallows at the campfire, but I don't disagree with it. I just don't want to get involved in the Angels here. You know, I said this before. Fuck Mike Trout into perpetuity here. I mean, the reality is for this guy, for all the reasons I talked about, showing up in Eagles games in the winter and his Angels hat or his Phillies hat, all right, dude, you had a chance. We wanted you. You signed the big contract to be obscure in middle of fuck off land with the California Angels here, but Anaheim Angels. But look, I think Houston finds a way again to continue to stomp. 79% of the bets, 81% of the cash agree. The line went from plus 105 on the Angels to plus 120. That's a pretty big move out there. And Rodriguez is probably the primary culprit with this 8.54 ERA. So never like to get a guy like Wisniewski here who, you know, frankly, we don't have shit on this guy, right? I mean, what's he going to do for us out there? He's been in the league for a couple of years now. But he is a Texas prodigy. And so recognize that he's comfortable. He tried out for the Yankees. He got the call. He couldn't figure it out. He's back at home in Texas where he belongs. And I think Houston goes out there and does what they should be doing. And that is winning this game, probably by margin on top of it, but I'll just take the minus 127 for the Houston Astros.
Yeah, I agree. We're going back to it. We got Navy hat 1, Navy hat 2. The buy hat is engaged. I think you could see margin develop in this game. Talk about Wesnecky. As I said, he used to pitch for the Cubs. He's coming off a start, obviously pitching for the Astros at Milwaukee, and he did not look very good. But key point, Cubs, Milwaukee, same division. So the Brewers knew what this guy was throwing. So let that be really kind of anecdotal out the window here. His only start this year in the division road was a game at Seattle on a weeknight against Logan Gilbert. He was in complete control. 7 innings pitched, only 3 hits, 0 walks, 82 pitches. The guy could have thrown 9 innings, no problem. He did not need to be limited to 7 innings, if we're being honest. Only 2 earned runs on a home run. So this is where he performs great. Road in the division. And if you look at Grayson Rodriguez wants absolutely nothing to do with Angel Stadium. When this guy takes the home bump, he gets absolutely rocked. He already lost against Houston once. He labored in the game, did not make it through 6, and now the line is heavier. I said it yesterday. There's 3 teams you want to fade in the American League: Royals, Angels, and Athletics. The Royals scrapped it a little bit last night, but truthfully, I think of the 3, the Royals probably have the most buy element in them. Two worst teams in the American League, Angels and Athletics. You want to fade them tonight. Take the Astros and let's cash. Next game on the card, more late night baseball. Speaking of the Athletics, again, we're going back to Sutter Health Park in Sacramento. Reds Athletics, Patrick Sandoval at Jacob Lopez. Mike, last night the Red Sox really let us down. The bats have been flat in this stadium, very surprisingly, to be honest. Do they explode tonight?
I couldn't figure this one out. I gave out a prop yesterday. I thought it was looking pretty good too. I thought, Durbin there in the position he was at to smack this thing and get the home run for us. And man, couldn't have been any more wrong about that one. Good thing is you can only be wrong once, but it was a plus 850. So if I got to be wrong, at least it was an 850. 10.5 tells you there should be runs, but we're just not seeing them. I mean, has Boston peaked? Have they gotten to that market cap? 85% of the bets, 93% of the cash on the Red Sox. It's moved 2 cents. Went from minus 142 to minus 144. So is this where you want to back them? Bounce back spot after what they did yesterday out there. The Athletics, for what it's worth, we talked about this the other day. They do bust up lefties. I mean, they're winning at a 54% rate over the last 8 years. And you might say, well, it's not really enough of an edge, but it's profitable because you're taking them at plus money. You're up 43 units in those spots out there. And for that reason, I could see myself getting in the business a little bit here. I mean, it's not my favorite spot on the card. It's a late night situation. We'll have to see how the card evolves, but I don't want to be in that spot where probably the most public play of the day happens to be on this Sandoval cat. Guess what? If you fade Sandoval and you find yourself in that glorious dog roll of, $1.30 or more, shit, you're cashing checks, man. You're winning at a 65% clip. So tight game. I think tight game. I want to go to the under, but it's the baby ballpark and we haven't seen the bats explode just yet. The Red Sox on the road in August since 2023, the second half of the season when things get serious, they're a 70% over team out there, but we're just not seeing it right now correlate at West Sacramento. So for me, I'd have to lean Angels or nothing. I just haven't really figured out how to play this game yet.
Tough game for me as well. Honestly, at some point their bats are going to explode. If it was going to come, it might come here. I don't think Sandoval is going to pitch great. He hasn't pitched in this stadium ever. Of course, campaign 1 with the Red Sox. He did used to pitch in this division. He pitched with the Angels for the first, I believe, 4 or 5 seasons of his career. Hasn't faced the Athletics. I just looked it up since September 1st, 2023. The Athletics at that point in time were not playing in the stadium. They were still in Oakland at the Oakland Coliseum. So this is a very unique environment here. This guy Lopez is very sketchy. If I had to give a side here, and I might get there later, I think this pitching matchup probably does lean towards more runs. I think Sandoval will struggle. I think Lopez will struggle. The line's high. It's 10.5. It was 9.5 the previous 2 games. So I think the books are agreeing. I think the over is the best look in this game, guys. Get ready for runs, and let's keep it moving. Final game of the card, 10-10 out west. That is, of course, 7-10 in Los Angeles, Dodger Stadium. Mariners-Dodgers game 2, Hancock at Lauer. Mike, last night, the Dodgers came home off the long trip and took a loss. Will they bounce back tonight?
Yes. And I hate it because is it square? Is it that situational spot that we talk about where it's like you're gonna lay $1.56 on these guys? Maybe I'll get to the -1. I still think this is probably another tight game, but I'll say it from the get-go, man. I've been championing Lauer since getting as a Dodger. When everybody else was shitting on this guy, I was like, you know what? The Dodgers aren't stupid. I mean, they got a ton of money to spend, but they're bringing this dude in for a reason. And what have they done this season with this fella? Win, and win often, and win by margin. So I'll fade them. I'll expect the Dodgers to bounce back. Now, I'll tell you this, for whatever reason, this time of the week, just to give you guys both scenarios here, try to be objective. The Dodgers on a Wednesday, pretty shitty. So they're just 53% win rate. Can you figure that out? I can't. Especially if the last game went over, that fading them on a Wednesday moves to 62%. But I don't think so. I mean, Emerson, good looking fella, maybe the first 5 under in this case too here, but Eric Lauer, man, you give him a total of 8.5 or more. He's 20-2 in those spots out there. The home team should go out there, bounce back favorites in game 2 have won 69% of the time. And the Dodgers, specifically with Lauer on the bump, they've won 7 straight times. I'm not getting in the way of that. Give me some Eric Lauer action here. What's Eric Lauer to get the win? Shark, I'll listen to what you have to say while I try to figure out what that price tag looks like.
What'd you say? They're 7-0 to what?
Lauer winning.
Okay, 7-0. I think it stops tonight. The buy hat is engaged, and I think this is actually a psychological edge to the Mariners here. Mike, you've been talking about this all year. The Mariners have just drastically underachieved. They went to the ALCS last year, lost to the Blue Jays, have just been flat. But I think this is where they awaken, and I think they awaken sustainably in this series. I think this is a really big circle on the calendar series for the Mariners. They're playing the champs. They actually probably say to themselves, I'm sure there was a bit of a conversation at some point, if we had just gotten through the Blue Jays last year, we would have actually faced off against this team in the World Series. So for them, it's a bit of a recreation of what could have happened last October. You saw it last night. Luis Castillo gets the dub. And, truthfully on that, I failed to mention it last night or yesterday during the show, but leading into yesterday's game, the Dodgers were actually 12-0 versus Seattle in the previous 12 games, just complete utter domination. So when that ends, like we said with the Red Sox losing streak and other winning streak and other things, it's not an auto bounce back. Seattle's due to regress northward in this matchup. And if you look at the Dodgers, since the beginning of June, they are 0-7 at home versus American League opponents versus the run line. And that's where I'm getting here. I'm getting it +1.5. I posted on X. You can get it on Kalshi right around -130. The Dodgers are just not beating American League teams by margin. They beat the Rays 3 straight games, all by 1 run. And then Friday, June 19th through Sunday, June 21st, they lost 2 out of 3 to Baltimore and did regress downward throughout the series. I think the Dodgers a little market capped here. I think Hancock will pitch well, and I think Lauer is a little capped. They got +1.5, Mike, so the Dodgers could win the game, but I do think it's going to be a really tight one. Any final thoughts on that, or we're going best bets?
Let's go best bets, baby. It's that time of the year. It's that time of the show. It's that time of the day. Philly's putting the work in on Gusto right now. Let's go. Already cashed our +165. Bryson Stott RBI. That's how you want to start the day. What do you say? I give you guys a couple best bets on top of that thing here. I'm going to give you guys, some of these games are already in play, right? So you hopefully caught the show. And if you didn't, go back and check it out. See how we did. But I'll take the Brewers. I'll take them at -104. I like that spot today. I'll take Colorado first 5 +122. I'll take, I'm going to go back to them Rangers at +127. I will take I'm going to take the fucking Royals at +178. Fuck those Twins after what they did yesterday, especially hearing he's coming back. It is a homecoming of sorts out there. I got the Yankees -138 and the Cardinals at -104.
All right, so we got 3 collabs. I'm also on the Brewers, also on the Rockies.
Well, you're on the Rockies full game or first 5?
Full game +150. And I'm also on the Yankees at -138. So those are 3 collabs, 3 top plays. Guys, get on those. And I have the Guardians -127. As I said, I'm not getting behind Brady Singer. I think zigzag and run differential gap there. And a couple other buy hats engaged as well. We're taking the Astros -127 and Mariners at +1.5. And Mike, let's do a quick little parlay and we'll get out of here.
What do you get for the +1.5?
-133.
Too lazy to go back and look later.
Yeah, it's a good number.
Okay, let's do it. Parlay time, boys and girls. Looks like Kyle Hart's going to be the starter for Griffin Gas Canning for that Padres game. How about we go? Can I? You want to go under in that Mets second game, Sale and Scott?
Yeah.
All right, we'll take that one. We'll take under 9 in that Kansas City Joe Ryan game.
That one for me is funky because I think that's really high for a Joe Ryan game. Something's weird for that one.
Athletics over 10.5.
Yes, I like that.
Okay. And then
why don't we roll out the Rockies run line? What do you think about that? Plus 1.5.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
I like that spot. Let me punch
-1.
that in. All right. Parlay of the day, you guys. Colorado Rockies plus 1.5. The over 10.5 in the Red Sox, and the under 7.5 in that Braves and Mets game is plus 445. I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a winner already.
Absolutely. Mike, any words, and we'll close it out.
Yeah, man. Final thoughts here. You guys are all winners for jumping in and rocking with us as we build the community here at the Sports Money Network. Doing a lot of work, doing a lot of grind, and a lot of things to try to make this a better experience for everybody down the stretch. We've switched over to the mobile viewing. If you guys enjoy it, check it out. Leave us a comment and let us know, because we are working on the world of change, and we want to make sure that everybody gets what they need when they need it, as they need it. If you guys are catching us on the replay, like and support there. Leave a comment for us as well. And make sure you check out all the content, all the free plays that we're posting out there. We got a ton of things happening. Phil McKill says, what happened to the parlay record that used to be in the corner? It was a nice record. It was a nice record. There's still nice records, but we can't provide the mobile compatibility with the former graphics that we had out there. So appreciate you. Craig Cornell says, great show. Aviskesh Baldio says, any link for live streams, please? We're working on it. We'll get you guys some things going on here for the live business as well. It's been a grind. Somebody asked about the 5 p.m. show as well. We're going to be back. There's just nothing going on. So I enjoy spending my time with Shark, going through the card and then getting after it after that. So appreciate everybody else that's been here, man. Christmas in July, Shark, my closing thoughts. I've got 50% promo. I extended it through the end of the month. So if you haven't done so already, go check it out. You guys can get me for 6 months or 12-month packages, 50% off. Literally, you want to get 6 months, it's like $100 after discount. Couldn't be any more cost effective. And you know, we roll hard. We go NBA, NHL, MLB, NBA. I think I said that already. NFL, college football. Shark, take it away, my man.
Yeah, our guy in the chat says the Diamondbacks just scored. I'm typing it right in the chat now. Push it back, Pirates. Enough chicanery. I've seen enough bullshit. That all being said, it's a long game, guys. I used to watch a lot of content in baseball before I handicapped it, and some of the smart guys that did content, not picks, would always stress, guys, it's a 9-inning game. I know it's easy to get emotional in baseball, too, because leads seem insurmountable. It just seems kind of crazy conceptually in your mind to think like, oh, a team's down 4 runs, they're going to come back. It's so hard to score. Games are crazy. Bullpens stink. So, guys, stay the course. Always manage your bankroll. It is 24/7, 365. And as Mike is mentioning, Christmas in July sale. Football is starting, guys. We even got into a little football chat during today's show. A little longer show today. We got 16 games, a lot of stuff going on. Energy is high on this Wednesday. If you guys haven't dropped a like on the video, please do. And please drop comments after the show. Under the video, we will interact with you guys throughout the day. Let's cash these tickets. Let's dominate. And we will see you guys tomorrow for a small getaway card on Thursday. That is it for this one. MLB Bases Loaded, the Wednesday edition, July the 29th, 2026. For Mike, I'm the Shark. Stay fast, stay strong, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.